Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zheng Kong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Darshi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice tonight. Amitabha Tathagata of Sugawati, the western realm of utmost bliss, and Avalokiteswara Bodhisattva and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva. Sumo Tanzhen Gatso Duten City. All Dhamma masters, Dhamma educators, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma tutors, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, how do you do?
I stayed. Sarange. Hola amigo. Que quiero mucho. Scoin. Ichiba. Kimoji. Jumi. Yapi. Pudding pudding. Konbanwa.
Today we have many fellow disciples from all over the world. And after the group practice, I will do the book signing. And it may take a little longer. So we have no Q&A today. We know that Amitabha Tathagata, the Western Pure Land, in the Buddhist world, has formed a school, and the school is called Pure Land School or Pure Land Sect. So you cultivate and to go to Sugawati. And in the Pure Land School, there are two important key points. The first, you cannot lack good root to go to Sugawati. You need to have good root to go to Sugawati. Or superior root. And the so-called superior root is expressed in the four right exertions as part of the 37 enlightening factors. If you have bad thoughts, you need to stop them. And before they arise, you want to avoid them. If you have no good thoughts, then you need to generate good thoughts. If you have generated good thoughts, then you want to increase the good thoughts. These are called the 4 right exertions. So to go to the Pure Land of Amitabha Buddha, first you need to have the superior root. Otherwise, you will not be able to go there. Second, which is very important, you need to chant the Buddha's name single-mindedly, single-pointedly. It's easy to chant the Buddha's name. Everybody can do it. Today, the kitchen played Today, the kitchen played this music. Everybody can chant the Buddha's name. But the question is, are you single-pointed? Are you focused? Actually, single-mindedness refers to meditation. So you place your meditative stability on the Buddha's name. You chant the Buddha's name and you listen to it and then imprint it in your heart. Actually, single-mindedness is the same as meditation. If you can chant the Buddha's name until you can place your focus and place the Buddha's name in your heart mind, then the Trinity from the West will appear and guide you to Sukhavati, and that's Pure Land School. In the past, Grandmaster has also learned the Pure Land Dharma. And my 1,000 Dharma vessels spiritual deliverance recently includes both Tantric Buddhism as well as Pure Land School combined. So it's done with the Tantric practices as well as Pure Land Schools practices. Although going to Sukhavati seems to be simple, but the single-mindedness is not easy to achieve. And the superior spiritual root is also not an easy matter. You think that having a superior spiritual capacity is very easy. Actually, it's not. I remember in California, America, in the summers, they would have forest fire, and many places too in America. And there are many causes. But some were caused by humans' behavior. They intentionally lit the fire, caused the fire, and they did caught the perpetrators. Therefore, it's not easy to have superior spiritual root. Of course, it's not good to set fire. It would harm people, trees, and many animals inside the forest. So that's killing. They're creating karma of killing, and which is the heaviest one. And yet, there are still people doing it. And we know California, especially Oakland, there are many crimes. Master-Lu-Ling Shen is from Oakland. And we show respect to him. He came from the Oakland that's full of crimes, and he's untouched there. So it showed that he's one. He's one of the mafia, the gangsters, half white, half black. Knowing someone from Oakland, wow, they always win. And also those from Chicago. Zhang Qiang, the PhD, Dr. Zhang Qiang. And Chicago too is incredible. It's listed as #1 all over America. I thought it was New York. But there are also a high number of crimes in Chicago. So stealing, robbing, it's one of the very important precepts of Buddhist precepts. Not to kill, steal, sexual misconduct, and lie, and double tongue, evil words, this heavy speech karma, and then drinking alcohol. Actually, the alcohol itself is neutral. After drinking it, and if you get drunk, that would be easy to become impulsive and then breach the crimes. So the most basic precepts for Buddhists are the 5 precepts. 5 basic precepts: not to kill, not to steal, not to lie, not to have sexual misconduct, and be intoxicated. It's very important. And as for Amitabha Buddha, to go to Sukhavati, the place of Amitabha, there are 2 conditions. First, you cannot lack good spiritual root, and second, you need to be single-minded in chanting the Buddha's name. 2 requirements to go to Sukhavati. If you fulfill them, you can go there and you would be able to hear the graceful, harmonious sound, and you will naturally chant the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and naturally you will cultivate the 37 enlightening factors. And over there, upon seeing the Buddhas, the Dharmakaya Buddhas are at the pure, serene light, pure land, and the Sambhogakaya Buddhas are in the magnificent pure land of real reward and abundant pure land of convenience. And then the Nirvanakaya Buddha at the lowest level. So by going there, you will hear the harmonious sound and you will naturally practice the 37 enlightening factors. And then by encountering the Buddhas, it would be very easy to become a Buddha. And you can have attainments very swiftly. So that's the benefits of going to Sukhavati. So it's like a stopover. And the utmost bliss means there is no suffering in that realm. And the utmost bliss is beyond all heavens. Sukhavati is above all the heavens. So this is Amitabha Buddha, the meditative alchemy practice tonight. If you want to go to Sukhavati, then you can dedicate your merit to go to Sukhavati. Then in the future, we will all become a Buddha. So although we don't have Q&A, let me share a few jokes. Someone is wearing a like a, what do you call that, bandit, and went to see the doctor. And how come you hurt so badly? Do you usually do dangerous exercise? And the gentleman replied, oh, I was just yelling at my wife, that's all. Like a bandit, like a rat. Nobody laugh. That's the wife asked the accountant husband. The wife asked, what is inflation? What does inflation mean? In all over the world, and in America too, we have lots of inflation. And the accountant husband replied, you used to be 36, 24, 36. And now you're 48, 40, and 48. Although you have everything, and you're bigger than before, but your value has decreased greatly. This is called inflation. This is a composition of a student. talking about my mother. And the student wrote, Mom told me a secret. That in college, she had a crush on a man, on a boy, and she was rejected several times. And then one time, the boy was beaten, was hit and beaten, and she took care of him in the hospital. And because he was moved and then married her. And the secret was that the mom was the one that hired people to beat him. That got people to beat him. Now, we will continue on the main topic, continuing on the 37 enlightening factors. The 37 enlightening factors are the pure land of the bodhisattvas. When the bodhisattva becomes a Buddha, sentient beings with the 4 mindfulness, right exertions, transcendent travel, roots, powers, realization, and paths reach this field. So mindfulness refers to the 4 mindfulness. Right exertions refer to the 4 right exertions. And the divine feet refers to the 4 divine feet. Roots are the 5 roots, and powers are the 5 powers. And realizations refer to the 7 realizations, and the paths are the 8-fold noble path. So sentient beings with this reach this field. Today we will talk about the 7 body divisions, or the 7 realizations. The so-called Poti, we have a temple in Vancouver that's called Poti Lezang Temple, which is PTT. And it's written here, Poti means realization or enlightenment. Or you can say that you're awakened. Or even greater is you are enlightened to the way. That's called realization or Poti. So in Sanskrit it's called Poti. And in Chinese it's Jue, or realization, or enlightenment, or awakened. From delusion, human beings are deluded, every one of us. And all of a sudden you're awakened, and that's called Poti, which is realization in Chinese. So, what are the 7 realizations, or 7 factors of realizations or enlightenments? And the first one is the which is the investigation of phenomena. Like in the beginning, you don't know what you want to study, so you need to choose. So selecting the Dharma. So there are many schools in this world, many religions. Some schools build beautiful temples and huge temples and spiritual centers, very magnificent and beautiful. And you want to choose, you use this realization of choosing the right Dharma. So you want to choose which Dharma you want to cultivate spiritually. Is it through the huge temples? There are also Buddhism who specializes in performing charity, and that's called Tze Foundation. Or you want to choose you have good root and you want to perform charity, that's good too. Then you would have a good root and learn to perform charity. That's also a good method. And there's some who emphasizes on precepts. The Bodhisattva precepts. They are the light precepts or the severe precepts or the and also ordination precepts. There are many ordination precepts for the bhikshus and the bhikshunis, and also for upasakas and upasikas. They all have many precepts, starting from the 5 precepts, and then the precept pig. Precept pig really exists. And the 8 precepts, they are really the so-called 8 precepts. So 3 on top of the 5 basic precepts. And for the ordained people, they have precepts for the young monks. Some, many of them. And so there's also a school who starts from precepts. And for our tantric Buddhism, we start from chanting. We need to chant mantras, and the Pure Land school starts from chanting the Buddha's name, like what I just explained earlier. For Tantrayana, you want to learn mantras, visualizations, and mudras. When you chant mantras, it symbolizes the purity of the speech. When you visualize, it represents the visualization of the mind. And when you perform the mudra, it represents the purity of the body. By utilizing the purity of the body, speech, and mind, you enter a tantric Buddhist practices until eventually you gain spiritual union with the yidam, and then you can progress to practice the inner tantric practices. And when you reach the highest realm, you can transform into rainbow light, and you become clear light radiance, luminous. That's a very high realm, that you transform your physical body into clear light. This belongs to Tantric Buddhism. starts from the purity of the body, speech, and mind, and then gaining spiritual union with your yidam, and then practicing the chi channels and light drops, and then to transform into rainbow light. So you need to choose on your own. And many more deviant paths. The heretical practices, which is outside Buddhism. There are many religions that look like Buddhism, but not really quite Buddhism, many of them. They're all considered deviant paths. In Taiwan, there are also many religions, they are all good. So the first realization is you need to choose or select the right Dharma to cultivate. The crucial point is you need to choose the Dharma that you like and that's right and authentic. And there are also many sects in Buddhism, like the 8 schools of Mahayana or 13 schools. There are many of them. I've talked about it. Zen Buddhism, Tantric Buddhism, Pure Land Buddhism. Vinaya or precepts. And then a Tiantai school, Dhamma-laksana school, and then Huayan, Avatamsaka, and then the 3 treatise school. These are the 8 schools of Mahayana. 3 treatises, Tiantai, Dhamma-laksana, and also Huayan, Avatamsaka. So 8 schools belonging to Mahayana Buddhism. So you need to, once you have realization, you want to practice Dhamma and you want to choose the appropriate school or path to cultivate spiritually. So the realization of choosing the right Dharma. So this is the first one that we are talking about today. Grandmaster's main deity is, or personal deity is Amitabha Buddha, Golden Mother, Amitabha Buddha, and Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva. And what Grandmaster studies is Tantric Buddhism, but it's also combined or includes like the true Tibetan Tantrayana is slightly different or from the Japanese Tantrayana too. So we can say that Grandmaster's Tantric Dharma is the essence, the quintessence of Tantric Buddhist Dharma. It's more suitable to people in this modern day. So we can say that the true essence, the quintessence of the Tantric Dharma. In terms of precepts, we are incomparable to, say, the precept school or Vinaya, because they abide by the precepts very strictly. And we are also incomparable about our temples or in doing charities. We are not number one. However, our Dharma is number one. So you have made the right choice. You have good judgment. You know, true Buddha school Dharma is number one. If you want to manifest, you can. You want it to manifest? Yes, it can. So, how is the spiritual cultivation? We can also emit luminosity and clear light radiance. No matter what, so selecting the Dharma realization, if you want to select, of course you want to select True Buddha School Dharma or True Buddha Tantric Dharma. The first of the 7 body divisions. You need to have the Dharma eyes to select the Dharma. You need to have wisdom eyes to observe the wisdom of True Buddha School. What it is, what it truly is. You need to have the wisdom eyes. Because it talks about the highest, the topmost Dharma. Like the great Dharma of rainbow transformation. That's the highest kind of Dharma. As long as you reach such a realm, it's not that you want to radiate light, but you have the light in you. Inherently, it's not that you are producing the light, but because you have it all along with you, within you. All you do is just to liberate yourself from your physical bodies, and then your inner light just automatically or naturally manifests. So the light has been originally there. So once you're liberated, then you would naturally emit the light. And the light's been there. So the light is not something you generate, but it's innately there. That's the highest realm. And the Vajra Sutra too speaks like this. The real meaning of the Vajra Sutra is this. It's inherently there. It's innately there. Like intrinsic suchness of all Dharma. The Buddha Dharma is something that you have all along. It's not transforming you into Buddha nature. So that's called the intrinsic suchness. So the best, the highest kind of Dharma should be the True Buddha Tantric Dharma, or the Dharmas of True Buddha School. The second of the 7 Bodhi divisions is diligence. Since you already know that true Buddha school dharmas are excellent, then you should know to be diligent. And what does diligence mean? Never lazy, no indolence, that you follow the stages to practice. And you should never relax even for one day. That's why I have said that for the day that you don't practice, you're a ghost. Just now I have talked about the realization of selecting the right dharma. There is an analogy in the legend of ancient Chinese. The Chinese people were called the descendants of Yan and Huang. And Yan belongs to the Shen Long clan, and Huang is the Shen Yan clan, which is the Yellow Emperor. And we have the Yellow Emperor Lizang Temple in Taiwan, and we worship the ancestor of the Chinese people, which is the Shen Yan clan. So we talk about Shen Long clan. So he tasted hundreds of herbs and eventually died from poisons. There are good and bad herbs. But he was the one who tried them all and decided what herbs are good, what herbs are poisonous. So actually what we eat are all herbs or weeds. You know, Chinese eat rice, Americans eat wheat. They're all weeds, right? Or grass. So you cannot eat poisonous grass. So what we can eat now is based on what Shen Long Tze taught us. The Chinese eat rice, and the Westerners eat wheat. And those are edible, but you cannot eat those, the inedible ones, the poisonous ones. What are they? And we know many of them are poisonous, like the mushrooms. Some are edible and some are not. If you eat poisonous mushroom, then you can die. So the realization of selecting dharma is just like the sheep grazing on the grass, and the cows too, and they become so strong just by eating grass. But the grass they eat, like what the lambs or the sheep eat, like in New Zealand, the sheep are they're more sheep than humans. And each sheep would know what can be eaten and what cannot be eaten. So this is considered the realization of selecting Dharma. And the second one is the realization to be diligent. Since you know that the Dharma is good, then you should be diligent on it. So you need to be very diligent to practice the Dharma. And you are a ghost. During the day you don't practice. This is the second one. So after you know to select the right Dharma, you need to be diligent to practice it. You cannot be lazy. So the realization to be diligent is the same as the straight mind and deep mind. So you penetrate the Dharma and you just walk straight ahead. And that's called the realization to be diligent. So once you're awakened, then you want to be diligent to practice it. So you can't be lazy, like maybe you have stomachache, so you skip, you cannot slack off, and you're dizzy, then you sleep first, and then when you wake up, it's the second day. Then you become lazier and lazier. So once you're awakened, you choose the Dharma and you want to be diligent to learn it and practice it until eventually, so that you can have attainment. That's the second one. Is it okay if I talk until 10? It's 10 already. Let me share a joke. Before, Xiaoming told the girlfriend that he would give the whole world for her birthday. So the girlfriend was so touched. I will give you the whole world. So the girlfriend was very touched, and then on her birthday, Xiaoming gave her a globe. And she's so moved that she gives Xiaoming a silent treatment. Recently, the scammers are very, very popular. They are really horrible. During my spiritual consultation, there were many people that were being scammed. Good thing Grandmaster has no greed, so never invest in anything, so never got cheated. Because my mother is very trusting, so I am telling her the story, or Xiaoming told the mother about being cheated. And then he told Mom, why don't you just give me your saving books and the seals, let me take care of them. And Mom looked at him and said, by giving you my money, isn't that the same as being cheated? The younger brother is in 3rd grade in elementary school and is having a girlfriend. And Xiaoming found out and told the dad. And then Dad beat him up. So the younger brother told Dad, my girlfriend is beautiful. And if I don't start now, then I would have no chance in the future. And then I would end up like you. All I can marry is just like Mom. Now it's the mom that's beating him. The 3rd realization is a joy. The realization, the joyful realization, I guess. This is talking about, how should I explain this? I blanked out. The joy. Anybody can explain? The ambassador again. He's doing his homework. The 37 enlightening factors is to help us to attain Bodhi. There are 37 kinds. Now we are talking about the 7 realizations about the methods for enlightenment. And the first one, as Grandmaster said earlier, you have to select the right Dharma. You don't want to select the incorrect Dharma, that you don't understand cause and effect, or the bad karma of worshipping ghosts or gods. So you need to select the right Dharma so that you can gain enlightenment. And then diligence, like Sijun said, you have to do it every day. You cannot skip it for any reason. And Grandmaster has told us. And Grandmaster is the best example. And then the joy realization is what that can lead us to enlightenment is the right Dharma. And we can get the right Dharma is because we listen to Grandmaster, which is the right Dharma of the Buddha, the 3 Dharma seals, and then by hearing this, you feel joyful, and this would let you be enlightened. So you place your heart at this, so that you can reach realization. That's my opinion. So once you attain the right Dharma and you're diligent at practicing it, then you live amid joy, and the joy keeps increasing. So the joy realization is that you generate a kind of Dharma joy. You have attained the right Dharma. So in your spiritual cultivation, you would feel, you would receive joy. In our spiritual cultivation, because once you receive the right Dharma and you're diligent in your spiritual cultivation, and then you experience great bliss in your spiritual cultivation, the bliss of the Dharma. You realize the joyful feeling because it's the right Dharma. And you're also very diligent. Then of course you would generate the feeling of joy realization, that you have experienced the true Dharma joy, or be filled with it. That's the third kind of realizations, very important. Mom told Xiaoming, how come you don't have a date on the weekends? Xiaoming said, no girls like me. And Mom said, maybe because you haven't done enough. So if there's a girl who likes you, what would you do for her? And Xiaoming said, I'll do everything for her. And Mom said, okay, I like you. Why don't you wash the dishes? Really? If you like a girl, then whatever the girl asks you, you would do it with joy, right? This is the joy realization. Because you like it, right? And you like her, and you are serious about her, of course then you will do it. Now Grandmaster has reached this age, I have no such feelings anymore. If people ask me to do something, I will not do it. Om Mani Padme Hum.